You hear about people being kidnapped every day, like JC Dugard or Carlina White. You don't really think it would ever happen to you. You hear about it on the news every day, you don't ever really think it's going to happen to you, and then BAM! It happens to you just like that. Well, that's how it was with my family. And it would happen to be the worst 2 to 4 days of our lives. It all began on my birthday when I was 12, I think. My mom just got back from her trip from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And she wasn't home more than 10 minutes, and we got a call from my aunt and uncle in New Orleans saying that my cousin never showed up for work and they can't get a hold of her. And so we packed up everything that night and drove all night to get there. And by the time we got there, they found her and stuff, but we couldn't get to her until a day or 2 later. She had to fly back. She went to work in the morning because she worked at the mall at, I think, Williams-Sonoma, when it was still around. And she said that she parked her car, got out of her car, and had this guy came up to her with a gun pointing at her and said, "Get in the car, you're driving me someplace." And so she did what he told her and and drove from New Orleans to all the way to Pennsylvania. And she said that he had the gun on her either underneath the chair or on person the entire time in the car ride. And the whole time in the trip, she was trying to get him to talk, so he would feel comfortable with her and she would feel comfortable with him the entire time. She talked to him, and she found out who he was, where he was from, where he lived, and he told her why he was going to Pennsylvania, which was to see his ex-girlfriend or his girlfriend or something along those lines. And when they got there, she told him that, "You don't need me anymore, you got where you wanted to go, can you let me go?" And he said no. And then like a half hour later, he drops her off at the street corner and just leaves her. And she sees these 2 guys walking up and was like, "Hey, do you have a phone I can borrow? I need a phone, because I need to call someone to come get me." And luckily we have cousins that live in Pennsylvania, or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, that my mom was just there visiting. So she called them, and they came and got her. And then she got to their house, called her aunt and uncle, told her that she was fine, she's okay, and told them basically everything that was going on. And then when she got back, we all went to the airport to visit her, or get her. And she said when she got back that the whole time that she was in the car with that guy, that she said that the entire time she was there, she felt our grandfather's hugging her the entire time. And he's been passed away for a few years before. Well, it's been a lot longer now, but when I was 12, a few years before that. And she felt very comforted by it because her and our grandfather were very close. So that happened. And the whole reason why we knew where she was and we found her was that the guy was not paying cash, he was paying with her credit cards. So every time they got gas or got something to eat, or got gas essentially, that retract their the charges each time. And then when she got back, we talked to a lot of reporters, a lot of newspaper people, a lot of news anchors, and we were on TV, and we had a welcome pack party for her, and they had a lot of news reporters on her yard, and it was just very I can't think of the word.
Scary? Hard?
Yeah, it was very scary, hard, and but we were very lucky that we got our cousin back. I know we're one of the few people that get their people back alive, and you don't think this will ever happen to a loved one, but You can't always, it will happen eventually, or sometimes some people, it won't happen to them. But it does happen every once in a while. Any questions?
Did they find him?
Yes, they found him, I think either a few hours or a day later. And he was charged. He's got sentenced to life. He went for parole a few months ago. And my cousin, of course, she's on antidepressants the entire time, and she can't really handle it. And for a long time, his mother was sending her letters about, you shouldn't have done this to my son, he doesn't deserve this, da 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 da. And then so he's still there because we didn't want him to get out. So she testified again, and that trial went on for like almost a month the first time, and then a couple weeks the second time. Any other questions?
Well, I was going to ask how she was doing, but you kind of answered that.
Oh.
But so she's not.
Well, she's fine now. Like, she still has to be on antidepressants, and I don't know if she's still seeing a counselor or not. But she's married now, and she's gonna have a baby. So we're all happy that we have her, and she's doing okay now. Yay!
Do they still live in New Orleans?
Yes, they still live in New Orleans. They live by the airport, which kind of sucks, but it's a cute house, so it's good.